Ultra Beasts are freaking crazy. So here is the most recent Koro leak. We have Ultra Beast number 2 expansion and Ultra Beast number 2 beauty release. So actually, there are 2 Ultra Beast number 2s depending on which game that you buy. So game exclusives, even though it's still Ultra Beast number 2, Ultra Beast number 1, still unchanged, still unnamed, and apparently its name has a deep meaning. So take with that what you think. Like, it's just so weird having this Ultra Beast concept in Pokemon right now, but we're going to explore more into it, and we're going to bring up all the crazy stuff and shenanigans that are going on. So as we can see, this page doesn't really do too much. We have beauty, we have expansion, we have stuff going on, but the version exclusives are shown. As you can see right here, Sun version, and since it is in Japanese, it reads from right to left. So we have portal opening up in the sky, Ultra Beast dropping down, going to punch Tapu Koko in the face, which is why there's probably a very threatening thing going on, and I imagine that this is Ultra Beast Beauty down here as it gets cut off screen. It's weird. I really hope that my earlier thought that these are not Pokemon in any way. These are just beasts. These are unnamed creatures that have nothing to do with Pokemon. They're interdimensional. Like, we already know that. They come out of these weird dimensional portals. We don't know how to study them fully right now. There's research going on. But hopefully they can't be interacted with as Pokemon. We destroy them, the world is saved, and then we don't have to worry about these things existing in Pokemon anymore. That is my hope. But it also gets crazier because, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, guys. Like, beauty, it looks like LUSAMINE, and then we can kind of compare all the details. So, same pose. That's weird. Also, like, you can just kind of look like the whole hair design kind of flows the same, even crossing the legs over, and it's called Beauty. So we have Beauty representing LUSAMINE. It's not too much of a stretch right there. However, this also goes over to Lillie. So initially, when it broke down with Lillie, people were thinking that Ultra Beast number 1 is Lillie. Now, I never thought that. I think that that's way too much of a crazy thing, but it seems like that Ultra Beasts are trying to mimic humans in some way. That we don't know about their origins just yet, but as their origins become more clear in future updates and stuff, we might understand a bit more. But it is really freaky the way these things just kind of like interact and move around and whatnot. But with the Lillie one, yeah, it has kind of like a dress design going for it. It has a girlish body figure. It has hair going on. It has a giant hat. And it seems to mimic these Pokemon. And it also gets weirder because as we go into the entries for Ultra Beast, you know, the breakdown starts getting wild. Like, why is an Ultra Beast mimicking something from the Aether Foundation when they're trying to study Ultra Beasts? So, let's read on. In the Alola region, rumors are flying about mysterious creatures known as Ultra Beasts. See, like, it doesn't seem like these are classified as Pokemon. I mean, when you think about, like, legendary Pokemon, mythical Pokemon, pseudo-legendary Pokemon, something, even a crazy power, even, like, an unknown Pokemon is still recognized as a Pokemon in some way. This just seems like some kind of other interdimensional beast, and I'm really hoping they're not Pokemon because of that. So Ultra Beasts possess mighty powers that could pose a threat to humans and Pokemon. Like, they pose a threat to Pokemon and humans in their own, like, separate categories. It's not like it's not like a crazy Pokemon that's trying to take over or something. I mean, we can study and understand stuff about Arceus, yet we have no track on these. Seems a little fishy. So they are feared. I mean, when you look at the trailer, these things are absolutely creepy. Let's go over here and just let's get the creep factor going on. All right, so Chubby Rattata, going to make the video a little more lighthearted as we transition into the shenanigans. But I mean, it just looms. So there's our interdimensional portal once again, bust out, and then just kind of like, I don't even know, I couldn't come up with a weird word, just kind of like squeaks out of there in a weird way, and then just drifts around and ominously hangs there. Isn't that wonderful, guys? So as we read into it, you know, it appears that the Aether Foundation is also conducting research on these Ultra Beasts, which is interesting as to why it appears in their research laboratory. But then, according to rumor, multiple Ultra Beasts exist, each of them called by a different codename, as shown through the Cerebi leak. But Ultra Beast number 1's body is composed of a glass-like substance. However, it's constantly changing shapes, never settling on one. So this seems like the most common shape or some kind of representative shape, and it seems to mimic Lillie. This is why I'm thinking, like, it's not a shapeshifter. It can't actually fully become Lillie, but this is the closest shape figure that it can obtain in its form, depending on whatever substance it's made of. Now, while evidence of something like a survival instinct can be observed in Ultra Beast 1, no one knows whether it has a will of its own or any emotions. It's said that for some reason its movements resemble those of a young girl. So that's like kind of the weirdest thing. It doesn't seem like fully sentient. It just acts on a survival instinct, which is why it could be even more terrifying, that if it deems something as a threat, it's just going to lash out at it without any kind of holding back because it just doesn't have the emotions to accept that. It's just going to go, which is why this thing creeps me out even more. But it shows some kind of progression as we go into it. And then we have the Aether Foundation with LUSAMINE. So Foundation has constructed an artificial island called Aether Paradise. There, they not only provide shelter for Pokemon, but conduct various research projects. It seems that the main character will be able to visit Aether Paradise during their adventure. So they go around helping out Pokemon, and then weird Ultra Beast stuff pops up, while one of the Ultra Beasts looks like LUSAMINE. Let's keep going, because not only does it seem like Lillie, but Gladion, in like an abstract way, seems to resemble Expansion. Now, it's not as like clear-cut, you know, Lillie and the other ones are pretty straightforward, but even if like you look into the slight details, you know, like there's arm spikes going on with Gladion on his shoulders and stuff, the color scheme with like the red and black kind of matches, and maybe there's something about Gladion's storyline that relates to Expansion, that relates to this aggressive power that has been shown by Ultra Beast number 1, such as when it goes and attacks Tapu Koko. You know, it seems like that could be a little bit of a thing, and if we're going off of that, then it just gets even more nuts. Also, I wanted to point out how weird this thing is, because it has like 4 legs. So it's like a walking 4-leg pod thing that charges you down and tries to beat your face in with like manly fists. That's fucking terrifying. So now we're getting into like extra conspiracy theory, because when you line them up, it seems like all 3 of these characters are related, like as siblings and something. We have blonde hair, green eyes on all these guys, and even like the hair patterns, like especially between Gladion and LUSAMINE, you know, they have the same like hair flow and hairstyle in their own way, and it's probably not too much of a stretch for Lillie as well, but they're all doing things for their own personal reasons. So now we can also see as I have just so many pages up. So Lillie is a mysterious girl who assists the professor. This young girl is about the same age as your character, and she is working as Professor Kukui's assistant for personal reasons. She's not fond of making Pokemon fight in battles, but she loves reading and has devoured many books. She will play an important role in the story of Pokemon Sun and Moon. So a mysterious girl that has an Ultra Beast that looks like her, that's playing an important role in the story of Pokemon Sun and Moon, that might be related to LUSAMINE, the head of the Aether Foundation, who also has an Ultra Beast copying them. And if they are related, then that means it doesn't seem like too much of a stretch, depending on which version you're going for, that Gladion could be representative of the other Ultra Beasts, or maybe they've all taken their own paths, you know. Lillie decided that while Pokemon battling isn't right, it kind of matches up with the Aether Foundation, so she might actually have a decent tie with her sister. But Gladion decided to go the other route, you know, maybe thinking that it's better to join Team Skull and fight for power instead of trying to help out Pokemon in some way. And that'd be like the crazy rivalry turn when we get into the storyline, you know, Gladion and LUSAMINE, you know, meet up. It's like, brother, why are you trying to steal Pokemon? Or get out of my way, sister. And then you're gonna have the oh snap moment that happens, and then you can see why Aether and Skull are in their internal turmoil as things are happening. Or maybe it could also show that Aether is the bad foundation because their Ultra Beast research has ended up dooming the world, and that's why Gladion has his type Null. He has an incredibly powerful, like, almost god-slaying Pokemon that was created to do just that. So he's like, you guys have gone a corrupt path, so I had to break away, fight for my own strength. Team Skull seems like the right path to walk, as I can go and try to stop these things for myself, because Gladion has his own, like, grasp for power and power struggles and stuff, and if I could actually find it, like, just the way he interacts and stuff is pretty interesting as well, so we'll get that playing in the background soon enough. So yeah, introducing Gladion and his type Null. Now, I think, like, just the way that he has to, like, grasp his hand in a battle is really weird. I don't know if it has any, like, super significant meaning, but he's just, like, he's mean. He's just like, man, you're so weak. He always wants, like, a more powerful grasp for power and something when it comes to Pokemon. And then he has type Null, which is really interesting because according to Cerebi, we are going to get more type Null information. So it reveals that it will show its true strength of the new Pokemon type Null during its next issue. We'll bring more as it comes. So maybe that'll help piece things together. But the reason we need to get these videos out right now, start the speculation. If we see something in next month's issue, or we see some future news that comes up out of Pokemon, we can maybe add on to be like, oh, and then keep the theory going. Also, you know, if you get out now, other people are making videos, kind of need to establish your theory before you act like you're copying other people and whatnot. So in the scan, it shows Ultra Beast 2 expansion appearing in Pokemon Sun, facing off against Tapu Koko, and Beauty facing up against Tapu Koko in Pokemon Moon. And it doesn't seem like there's really too many other things about, like, we don't have enough information. It's super mysterious and weird like that, for sure. And then I guess we could check out Gladion if he has, like, he does have his own thing. There we go. Young man lends his strength to Team Skull as an enforcer. So he is an enforcer that, you know, he just kind of has his personal reasons. He places value on being strong in Pokemon battles. His partner Pokemon is the mysterious type Null. So going off of, like, these guys being siblings, that could have a huge storyline kind of representation going on. And they seem way too similar to not be related in some kind of way. And now we just have to wonder. So going back to the Ultra Beast and just kind of like doing some final speculation on it, one thing that was pointed out to me by my friend Turret Mob is that these seem as though they're progressing in some kind of evolutionary way. And while I didn't really recognize that at first, it might seem about right. You know, when you feel how mysterious UBO1 is, you know, it's like a jellyfish. It's one of the earlier life forms that really doesn't do much. It doesn't have too much thought, just goes around and tries to survive. But then as the other things like start to take shape of humans, and as they start to like gain more sentience, you know, this thing, it at least wants to attack. It has some kind of straight up fighting instinct and maybe registers something as a threat or not, which is why it attacks. And same for Beauty. Now Beauty resembles a cockroach, and Expansion resembles a mosquito for sure. Actually, yeah, it even has like little wings and stuff that we can see. Whoop, wrong way. And we can maybe see in one of the other pictures. I was like, oh yeah, those are wings actually. So more insect-like, more developed life with arthropods and stuff like that, and insects. Now, I think it's kind of ironic in a weird way. I think even like the wing crossover is something that cockroaches have, and the long antennae for sure. But I think it's like kind of weird that, you know, Beauty is represented as a cockroach. So it might show like the way that Ultra Beasts are accustomed, like, I don't want to say Ultra Beasts have customs or something, but the way that they're designed and the way that their emotional status works, it's like that this is how they have developed. And while it's kind of against our beliefs, you know, no one really thinks a cockroach is beautiful, it has its own forms of beauty that resemble humans in some kind of other way. So I'm waiting for that little bit of information that really sets us off, because Ultra Beasts are weird, yo! Like, that's all I gotta say. It's like, Ultra Beasts are so freaky. So hopefully we just, like, kind of crush them, the storyline becomes insane, and then it all makes sense. And here's the thing, guys, we don't even know anything about, like, the legendaries when it comes to Pokemon Sun and Moon. Like, how's their story gonna work? Also, if we go and watch this trailer, you know, at the end, people were also making some speculation that they fly through a wormhole that looks similar to what through what the Ultra Beasts go through. Now, I don't know. Like, this is a whole recap video, so I'm not sure, like, that the legendaries have something directly to do with, like, the wormholes and summoning Ultra Beasts, or at least in a relation like that, just because of the wormhole. But it is kind of weird that they do that. I thought it was just filler at first, but it might actually represent something. But I don't see, like, these Pokemon being strong enough to help combat Ultra Beasts. It seems like that's more within Aether and the Team Skull stuff going on. So, before I ramble anymore, that's pretty much like all the theories going on, how they're related to each other, how they represent Pokemon and stuff, and what Ultra Beasts could actually pose as a threat to the world, with Aether Foundation being somewhat potentially not good. And then, you know, just Team Skull maybe being powerful enough to actually stand against Ultra Beasts in some way. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.